Groundhog Day by Gail Gibbons. Groundhog Day is celebrated on February 2nd. Some people believe that on this day of the year, watching groundhogs can help predict what spring will become. When will spring begin? The date of February 2nd is about the middle of winter. Old stories say that if a groundhog sees its shadow on this day, there will be about 6 more weeks of winter. These stories also say that if a groundhog doesn't see his shadow, spring will come early. Groundhog Day grew out of old customs and beliefs. Some Asian people celebrated a spring festival in early February. Many people cleared their houses and the homes and the area where they lived, getting ready for a new beginning, the new spring season. Then about 1,500 years ago, people in Europe began lighting candles in the early spring for a new religious ceremony. This practice coincided with the older observances that celebrated the end of winter and the beginning of spring. People had always thought that they could predict when spring would come by watching animals. They believed that if a hibernating animal awoke from its sleep in the beginning of February and saw its shadow, there would be several more weeks of winter. The hedgehog, the bear, the badger. If the animal didn't see its shadow, spring would come soon. They watched animals such as hedgehogs, bears, and badgers. When Europeans were coming to North America, some settled in Pennsylvania. They brought with them the tradition of predicting spring by watching animals. Many groundhogs lived in the region. Groundhogs were animals that hibernate. It seemed logical to choose groundhogs to predict when spring would arrive. Early in February, people watched groundhogs to find out whether they did or didn't see their shadows. This custom became a yearly celebration in many places, including the town of Punxsutawney, Philadelphia. Then, in 1886, Clymer Frias wrote in the town newspaper that February 2nd would be called Groundhog Day. In Punxsutawney, the special groundhog is always called Punxsutawney Phil. There have been many Punxsutawney Phils. Every year on February the 2nd, thousands of people show up on Gobbler's Hill, just outside of Punxsutawney, to find out if Phil will see his shadow. High up on a stage, Phil is kept in a burrow under a fake tree stump. Town officials are also up on the stage. At exactly 7:25, Phil is taken out of his burrow. Everyone cheers. Now, if Phil sees his shadow, winter will be longer. If he doesn't see his shadow, spring will come sooner. The officials make it look as if Phil whispers to one of them whether or not he's seen his shadow. It's all pretend. Sometimes Phil is right. Other times he's wrong. Lots of people think Groundhog Day is just fun. A groundhog is a furry rodent. It is a mammal that can weigh between 5 to 10 pounds. It usually grows to about 20 inches long and has a short tail and short legs. Many people think a groundhog is cute when it waddles around. Like other rodents such as mice, squirrels, and beavers, groundhogs have large front teeth that grow continuously. To help wear them down, groundhogs gnaw on, bite, eat twigs, and branches. Their diet also includes leaves, flowers, and berries. Groundhogs are found in all parts of the United States and Canada. They live alone in burrows they dig out with their sharp, curved front claws. Some burrows can be as big as 6 feet and spread out more than 30 feet. Since they're prey to many animals, groundhogs stay pretty close to home, usually near one of the entrances to their burrows. When outside their burrow, they may sit up straight with their front paws held tightly against their chest, eating and watching for any signs of danger. When dinner is near, groundhogs make a sharp, high-pitched whistle to warn other groundhogs. Some of their natural enemies are wolves, foxes, and birds, such as hawks. During the winter, groundhogs eat as much as they can to increase their body fat. In the fall, they go into their burrows to hibernate through the cold winter months. Throughout the winter, their fat provides them some nourishment to keep them alive. To save energy, their body temperatures drop and their breathing and heart rate slows down. In parts of the United States and Canada, groundhogs poke their tiny noses out of their burrows during February, about the middle of winter. Male groundhogs look for female groundhogs about this time, and they mate. After 30 days later, the females give birth to their litters of tiny blind kits. In the northern areas, all this happens much later. For the first month, the mother groundhog takes very good care of their young. When the kits are about 1 month old, they open their eyes and they begin to crawl about. When the young groundhogs are about 2 months old, they are able to leave their mothers to dig their own burrows. A new generation of groundhogs is ready to care for them. People enjoy Groundhog Day. Sometimes children draw pictures of groundhogs, have snacks, or play games such as shadow tag. People read stories to children about Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil is the big star, but people wait to find out whether or not Punxsutawney will see his shadow. There are other famous groundhogs too. We have Chuck Wood in Los Angeles. There is General Lee in Atlanta, Sir Walter Wally in Raleigh County, North Carolina, Staten Island Chuck in New York. There's Dunkirk Dave in Dunkirk, New York, Jimmy in San Perica in Wisconsin, Punxsutawney Bill, he is in Indiana, Wharton Billy in Wharton, Canada, Blazer Billy right below Alberta, and on the edge, Shabakaday in Sam, Nova Scotia. I probably missaid that. Often gardeners and farmers think groundhogs are pests because they eat their vegetables. Other people think groundhogs are good at tilling the soil when they dig burrows. Even though groundhogs are not native to every region, people all over the United States and Canada celebrate Groundhog Day. Digging up groundhog facts. When a groundhog hibernates, its teeth stop growing and it takes only one breath every 5 minutes. A groundhog's hibernation chamber is the deepest one in the burrow. Often a groundhog plugs up an entrance to this chamber to keep out cold air. About 700 pounds of dirt can be removed by a groundhog digging a very big burrow. Sometimes a groundhog can do this in one day. Most of the time, groundhogs live alone except when the females are raising their young. Groundhogs live to be 3 to 5 years old. People who live in Punxsutawney say their town is known as the weather capital of the world. On Groundhog Day, people read and listen to the news to find out if spring will come early. Groundhog Day by Gail Gibbons.